Another defeat Monday for the New York Jets as they lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But after the game, Baker Mayfield came after a Jets coach and doesn't make sense. We'll get into it and react more to this Jets loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 3. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Yes, Todd, that's a good way to put it. Yesterday hurt. Yes, it did. And we're going to talk more about it here on the show today, for sure. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever, maybe this is a good release for you guys. I'm unaware. But, yeah. So the Jets lose, and it was painful, and they were getting their ass kicked for 3 quarters of the game. They're down 23-6 heading into the fourth quarter, and then they make this epic rally in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Buccaneers 21-6, and all of a sudden they take the lead in crazy fashion, and we'll talk about that. But ultimately they lose, right? They lose. Jets dropped 0-3 on the season. Tampa's a better team. They won. It is what it is. Buccaneers 3-0, Jets 0-3. So, again, they won fair and square. No question about it. They won. It's all them. We didn't stop them. We didn't do enough. Point blank. However, after the game, Baker Mayfield was asked a question. He was asked, hey, man, how was it, getting that win for your coach, Todd Bowles? Because Todd Bowles, of course, as we're going down memory lane here for Todd Bowles, he was here for 4 years as the head coach of the New York Jets. And as a matter of fact, the last time the New York Jets had a winning season, it was with Todd Bowles at the controls. 10-6 year, that 2015 year was. Very special. Very special. I mean, it ended horrifically with Ryan Fitzpatrick's 3 picks in the end zone, but nonetheless, that was our last winning season, a 10-win season. We have not been to the playoffs since 2010. You guys already knew that, but felt to appropriately say it here. The year was 2011. The season was 2010. So, again, Baker Mayfield, after the game, was asked. He was asked, hey, man, how did it feel getting that win for your coach, Todd Bowles, who, again, at one point was the head coach of the New York Jets? How was that? How was that? Trying to get a juicy revenge comment, I assume the media was trying to operate with. And he had this to say. Let's play the clip.
Was it for you guys to get the victory for them?
I loved it. And it's also their D coordinator was the one that cut me in Carolina. So it was a lot of stuff was personal today. Hassan Reddick, former Jet, a lot of people. Good. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Right. I want to reiterate. I'm not a sore loser here. The Jets lost. That sucks. They deserve the win. But let's talk about this for a second. So, Todd Bowles, fine. You want revenge for him? He got fired by the Jets. Okay. All right. It was 6 years ago, but fine. He got fired by the Jets. Fine. That was several head coaches ago. He gets fired. That's motivation. Baker Mayfield says their defensive coordinators, talking about Steve Wilks for the Jets, cut me in Carolina. Technically, that's true. Steve Wilks, who was a coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, became the interim head coach when Matt Rule was fired, and he ran the operations. And yes, in December of the 2022 season, months after trading for him from the Cleveland Browns, the Panthers did cut Baker Mayfield. But interestingly, Baker Mayfield left a key detail out of his explanation right there in the presser. He said, basically motivation. Perfect. Steve Wilks cut me? Ha, ha, ha. Sucks on you, Jets. Baker Mayfield requested his release. He went to the team and asked to be cut. They granted the cut, and he became a free agent. How the hell is that motivation to beat the Jets? That doesn't make any sense. It's made up. It's made up. He requested his release. The Jets and their coach cut me because you asked to be cut. Google it, folks. If you don't believe me, I have an article in the YouTube description. Fact check. Receipts. I know receipts is not a term we want to use anymore after Robert Saleh, but receipts. There's multiple insiders that confirm that he requested his own release. How is that motivation? That's stupid. Again, the Buccaneers got the win, man. And enjoy it and pelvic thrust in any direction you want to. But don't try to come up and say there's like some made-up motivation for taking out this. That doesn't even make any sense. I just want it. I just want you guys to take the win more appropriately. Don't blame made-up stuff, man. Hassan Reddick as a motivational technique? Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, Baker, pack it, buddy. Go kick rocks. But now, let's move on. The Jets are 0-3. Up next are the Miami Dolphins, who are also 0-3. That's going to be a Monday night football game. A Monday night football game for the New York Jets. And here's the fact of the matter. The number one thing I'm paying attention to this week is, can we get Justin Fields back? I know Justin Fields sucked against the Buffalo Bills. He did. But boy, week 1 was interesting. Week 2 sucked. Week 3 of Tyrod Taylor. Now, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Tyrod Taylor for being tough as the son of a gun. He stood in the pocket and he took some big hits. Some big hits. So toughness, salute. Turnovers, flip the bird. Because he fumbled, got strip sacked, and he threw an awful pick six to the left side of the field, throwing it to the flat late. That is a quarterback 101 for things not to do. And he did it. We could say Garrett probably should have came back to the ball. He stopped. Sure. But if I was asserting, sort of, all right, let me put this percentage of blame on this guy. Let me this percentage of blame on this guy. It's at least 60-40 in Tyrod Taylor's direction that it was his fault to throw to the flat late. Garrett was open. He ran his route and turned around. He was wide open going. And then Tyrod Taylor doesn't see him. And he's, there's Garrett. Huh! Throws it late with pressure in his face. Again, if I was to assort blame, Tyrod is where that blame goes. For that. 2 turnovers. Incredibly costly. The Jets lose by 2 points. So here's the fact of the matter. Here's the fact of the matter here. Is that Tyrod Taylor is clearly not the Jets franchise quarterback at 36 years of age. So the sooner we can get him off the field, the better. There's just nothing to be accomplished with seeing any majority of this season with Tyrod Taylor. And 3 siblings is saying 85-15 at least. But my point is, I'm blaming Tyrod Taylor a lot more than Garrett Wilson. There are people that say Garrett Wilson should have came back to the ball. So I'm just saying it's not 50-50. It's clearly Tyrod Taylor's fault. So we could get into the percentages, although we've gotten into Esdens and percentages on this show, and those results haven't always been pretty. But yes, I think it was clearly the fault of Tyrod Taylor, not Garrett Wilson. That's my point. But like I said, we could debate about percentages. But Tyrod Taylor is clearly not the franchise quarterback. So the sooner we could get him off the field, the better. Because him in games just means nothing. It means nothing. We get nothing out of it. Justin Fields, at the very least, we can what we need. The number one question the Jets need to answer this season is very simple. Is Justin Fields the guy or he's not the guy? And there's a lot of people out in the audience that already thinks he's not the guy. And so be it. That's up to you. But the Jets have not made that determination yet. So the Jets need to figure out with conviction that he either is the guy or isn't the guy. If he is the guy, great. Obviously, that's what we'd prefer. We'd love to have a franchise quarterback. But if he's not, okay, we need to know that heading into a very key offseason, because if he's not the guy, we need to find the guy. Point blank. For the New York Jets. That's what has to happen. And the sooner Justin Fields can get his 26-year-old ass back on the field is good news for the New York Jets. Three Siblings says, if Justin Fields comes back on Monday, we will win. I feel very confident about that. I believe in this regime. I believe in this team. And it's hard for some of you to believe when the team's 0-3. And I get it. The Jets have struggled in a lot of these quarters. If you break it down into quarters of games, they struggled in a lot of them. If you look at final results, they're 0-3, but 2 of the 3 play here, play there. Which I don't know if anyone takes anything away from that, but it's result-oriented business. There is no more cookies. The Jets are 0-3. It sucks. If Tankathon thing, I have not gone to the website, but unfortunately it's thrown in my face and I was tagged in it. The Jets have the number 1 overall pick right now. So enjoy that for any fans out there of the tanking variety, but that's not my cup of tea. If anyone is talking up Tyrod Taylor, whoa. If there's anyone talking up Tyrod Taylor in the comment section, I don't know what you guys are smoking here. Tyrod Taylor looked awful for 75% of the game. We had 2 field goals. They had 2 drives at the beginning of the game that we got field goals, and then nothing until the end of the game. Again, give credit to the end of the game. Give credit to the beginning of the game. But there was a big-ass sandwich in the middle where we sucked on offense. And Tyrod Taylor, the savvy veteran, he's responsible. So is Tanner Engstrand, by the way, who's calling some bad bad play calls for sure. But come on, man. Tyrod Taylor was not good. He had 2 turnovers. It cost us the game. I'm with 3 siblings out there. No, sir. No, sir. Hell no. Alon says, BG, tell me you aren't picking the Jets again. Say it isn't so. Who knows what will happen? There's a week to go. We got a full week because of Monday Night Football, so we got time to think, time to marinate. I need to talk to Dolphins people, which will be coming this week. I need to get into the numbers, get into the analytics, get into all that jazz before I make any decisions. Jamal says, how in the hell do you believe in this regime? Nothing has changed in terms of the quality of play. The defense got worse and knucklehead plays continue. Well, here's what I would say. A couple of things here. On the knucklehead plays, Michael Clemens had a 15-yarder, and there's a slew of penalties. I mean, I have all the numbers here in front of me, so obviously the Jets lost a turnover battle. That doesn't help. The Jets had 7 penalties for 81 yards. I mean, Tampa Bay had 14 penalties for 124 yards, so they were worse somehow. But the Jets had their own penalty issues. They lost the time of possession battle. They lost a turnover battle. They lost the offensive yardage battle. I mean, they lost every key category that happened. The Jets were 3 of 11 on 3rd down. Buccaneers had 4 conversions on 3rd down. We had 1 conversion on 4th down, so I guess that counts for something, I suppose. We ran basically the same amount of plays, 63 plays to 64 plays. They had more yards per play. They had more net yards rushing. Let me see. We had the quality better. We had a better yards per rush. They had more passing yards. 4 sacks for us, 1 sack for them. Yeah, most of the numbers the Jets lost in those respective categories. So I understand what you're talking about from that perspective. But Aaron Glenn's got to get his own guys in. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but Aaron Glenn has to get his own guys in, and that's going to take a little bit of time too. Remember Jeff Ulbrich in his first year, everyone wanted him fired. Jeff Ulbrich, he sucks. The stats suck. The analytics suck. And then all of a sudden he turned around the next couple of years as the guy. Now, in fairness, this team right now, defensively, has a lot more talent than Jeff Ulbrich had back in 2021. No question about it. He's got a lot more to work with, he being Aaron Glenn in the pantry. But he's got to get his own guys in here. He needs time. And I know we all want to see it right now. I want to see it right now. I want to go to the playoffs. I want to do all kinds of wonderful things. But Aaron Glenn has to turn this ship around, Legos and all his analogies he likes to use. It's going to take time. I believe in this regime because he signed a 5-year deal. This is not a 1-year deal. It's a 5-year deal. It's going to take time. And time is something Jet fans don't want to hear because we haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. I get it. I'm a Jet fan. I'm with you. We're simpatico. We're together. But constant change is not the answer. It's not the answer. For anyone that doesn't think AG is the guy and it looks the same and all this, same old Jets, all that jazz. Nah, man. constant change is not the answer. People were saying, boy, if Aaron Glenn doesn't turn around soon, we'll fire him before the bye. What are we talking about, people? We need to chill. We need to, breathe here. I don't like being 0-3 any more than you like being 0-3 versus I'm sure the team doesn't like being 0-3. I don't like being 0-3. I don't like being winless. I don't like being on tankathon.com, the number one overall pick team. It will take time for the Jets to fix this. And, the Jets are not going 0-17. At some point, the tide will turn. And the Buccaneers are a good team. They're the only team in the NFC that's been to the playoffs in 5 straight years. Think about that stat. Think about the Eagles, the Packers, the Cowboys, all these crazy-ass teams. The Buccaneers are the only team in football in the NFC conference that's been to the playoffs 5 straight years. They're pretty good. We thought they were pretty good to go into the game. The Jets were a touchdown underdog on the road. Buffalo, pretty good. They've been to all these AFC championship games and crazy. They've won the division. Speaking of 5 years, they've won the division 5 years in a row. Bills are pretty good. Steelers, they're sort of mid. I mean, they beat the Patriots over the weekend. I don't know if that's saying much, but whatever. So, they're a 50-50 team. We'll see if they make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs. Who knows what's going to happen there? But 2 of the 3 games, the Jets were projected to lose and projected to lose by a lot. And then you have Pittsburgh, which again was a 50-50 game, which was 50-50 in nature, and they lost. So it's not as if we've played these shitty teams who are 0-3. That would be a much greater sign of alert. Wee-woo, wee-woo. Well, the Jets have lost to the Saints, okay? Jets play the Saints this year. They lose to the Saints. All right, then let's sound the alarms off, okay? For God's sakes. But they're playing good teams. They're losing to good teams. Outside of Pittsburgh, and even Pittsburgh's a good team. I mean, they're 2-1 right now. Hey, I'd love to be 2-1. So the Jets have lost to so who have the Jets lost to? 3-0 Bills, 3-0 Bucs, 2-1 Steelers. And again, I don't like to lose, but the teams they've played have been pretty good. The Jets need, if they want to be good, they want to ascend to that category, they got to prove it on the field. And they're just doing stupid stuff. Penalties, turnovers. I mean, they're just not putting themselves in good positions to win these football games. And that has to change. The Jets, now there's no excuses. Monday Night Football, it's 0-3 Dolphins who are on the bridge of fragile dysfunction, and the 0-3 Jets. If the Jets can't get it done against the Miami Dolphins, that's where a lot of people will be sounding off alarm bells. So, and NC Green says the Saints are probably saying that about the Jets. But sure, probably so. I mean, we didn't get blown out 48-3. Although we had our own version of a blowout last week. They were getting their ass beat by Seattle. But the fact of the matter is, and that's deeper in the season. I don't know when that is. I think that's after the bye. But the Jets just need to do it one piece at a time. That's it. Incel Lon says, if Will McDonald didn't block that field goal, it was a blowout. Yeah, I guess if he called 9 points a blowout. That's what it would have been. The Buccaneers at the time were up 26-20. That field goal would have made it 29-20, and the Jets would have had whatever that is, 2 minutes to go down the field and score. So maybe it would have been 1 score. Maybe it would have been 2. I don't know if 9 points is a blowout, but again, who cares? The Jets lost. That's all that matters. Yeah. Mark Sacchetti, that's can they adapt the game plan during the game? Well, I would say we saw that in the fourth quarter. The Jets obviously made some adjustments in the second half that finally bore some fruit there in the fourth quarter. So that did happen. It didn't result in a win, which got a lot of us going there. Hennessy Heisman says, we got a gift from the gods with Will McDonald's block for nothing. Yeah, I'll tell you this. So this is sort of whatever story you want to call it. You could call this a whatever kind of story because we lost. So ultimately, that's what means the most here is wins and losses and things of that nature. But I'll tell you, yesterday we did the live play-by-play watch party. We did the live play-by-play watch party for the game, which, by the way, we'll continue to do all season long. And thank you guys for the support. There's a lot of people that jumped on the subscriber train watching the game. They enjoyed the play-by-play analysis. So thank you, everybody who tuned in for that. That was a lot of fun, which would have been more fun for a win. But, that's coming. That is coming eventually. But the cool part is when you do these live play-by-play analysis moments that crazy things can happen during the game. And boy, did a crazy one happen during the game with Will McDonald getting the blocked field goal. Again, the game was on the line. The Jets, it was a 2-minute warning. The Buccaneers led 26-20. They kick a field goal. The game's essentially over. There's technically enough time for the Jets to, with 1 minute and 40 seconds or something, to run immediately down the field, down 9, kick a field goal or score a touchdown, and kick an onside kick, get the ball back and do something. So technically it's possible. We saw that with the Cleveland Browns game a couple years ago. But for all intents and purposes, if the Buccaneers would have converted that field goal, the game would have been over. Instead, we have this crazy moment, which I posted online. This was my play-by-play of that moment. Here it is. Oh, my goodness. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We need a block. Will McDonald, is he on the edge? I can't see. But let's get a block, baby, or just a straight-up miss. Oh, Will McDonald blocked it. He blocked it. Oh, my God. Will McDonald got that. Will McDonald got that. Oh, my God. He's going to score a touchdown. Oh, my God. Will McDonald blocked it for a touchdown. Get out of here. Oh, my God, golly. Oh, the Jets got the miracle. The Jets got the miracle. Will McDonald blocked it and took it to the house. Jets lost 29-27. But that's just the raw moments that happened during the game. I was noticing if you watch the play-by-play, I'm like, man, the Jets getting a little close on these blocks. They didn't get a block the whole game until that moment. But a couple of times Will got close, and I'm like, they're getting a little close. That may not result in anything, but interesting. So ahead of that, we need a block, of course, for anything to happen. And I'm like, where's Will McDonald? Could that happen? And then when it happened, I lost my freaking marbles, man. What an awesome play by Will. And my only question is, and I don't know if we've heard this, I have to keep combing through all the postgame stuff. Why didn't Will McDonald jump over again for the game-winning field goal? Because all he has to do is jump over and swat it, and he's got insane hops, as you saw at the end of that video. He has a unique ability to jump over cars, which you always like, how is that ever going to translate to the football field? That's how, in a blocked field goal situation. Yeah, he ran around the edge this time, and again, he's really fast. He was close on a couple of those, but I don't know why he didn't just jump over the pile again, because there's only so much a long snapper can do. He has to remain so low to snap the ball back, so I think Will could have cleared him, block it, and the Jets win. Well, we'll never know because they didn't. But I know that a lot of people say that was wasted, that moment. And I wish I would have been a game winner because that could have been really cool. One, just a selfish thing here. So if any of you guys watched the Will McDonald One Jets Drive documentary, there's all kinds of stuff about his background. What's it called? Origins. I call it One Jets Drive. It is One Jets Drive, but it was Origins. And you saw like his high school coaches talking about like basically recruiting him to play football. Well, guess what? I do that play-by-play, and after the game, even though it's not for a win anymore, I'm like, that still was a really cool moment. Let me put that out on social media, Instagram, YouTube, all these places. My play-by-play of that play. And let me put the play on it too, so you guys can see it. And Will McDonald's his high school head coach reaches out to me and says he loved that play. He texted it to Will McDonald. So that's sort of cool that Will McDonald is going to see that play-by-play I did. That's super cool. So the coach said he's going to let me know. Like what Will thinks of it, which is funny. Georgie asks a very important question. What did your wife say after that? Well, she was pissed. Yeah. So in the middle of this, because I'll play it one more time here. In the middle of this, right? Oh, my goodness. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We need a block. Will McDonald, is he on the edge? I can't see. But let's get a block, baby, or just a straight-up miss. Oh, Will McDonald blocked it. He blocked it. Oh, my God. Will McDonald got that. Will McDonald got that. Oh, my God. He's going to score. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm screaming at the top of my lungs as that video progresses. All my weird noises. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Little did I know that about 15 feet in that direction is my living room. My son, who turns 1 in about a month and a half, he was dead asleep. I screamed at the top of my lungs, and that awoke my son, and my fiance had just gotten him to sleep. So what did she say to me after that? She was pissed. And anywho, so as the game is going, like, oh man, the Jets are in a great position to win this game, my fiance walks over, and here's sort of my setup here. Here's my office, computer, Boy Green Daily, all this action, and straight in front of me is a movie, whatever it's called. I mean, really, it's just a sheet. It's like sheets that you put on the bed, but it's on the wall, and I have a projector right here, and it projects the game, so I can do the play-by-play to do it all with you guys. And she goes to the corner of the screen and just stares a hole through me, like Aaron Glenn style. Aaron Glenn, a player messes up, and Aaron Glenn's giving you like that. So she was staring at me while the game was still going on. Like, oh boy, what's going to happen here? Jets need to stop on defense. So she stared a hole through me and just glared at me and said, I hope you fall off a cliff and die, was basically the look she gave me. So she was livid. Georgie, thank you for asking. Absolutely livid. Yeah. Yep. She was pissed. Yeah. She wanted to beat me with the rake. Yep. Yes, Hennessy, I can confirm. Definitely no sweet and passionate love for Boy Green or any love whatsoever. Yep. Definitely that was couch material there. Yeah. That was couch material. I wish it would have been totally worth it. Yeah, Aunt Jets 82, same thing. No sweet passionate love. Absolutely not. No. Nope. There wasn't. Spoiler alert. That did not happen after that. That is for sure. I definitely angered the gods there. Yep. But I will tell you, though, that that was a sweet moment. Sweet moment. That was a lot of fun, but I wish it would have been for the win. As Hennessy Heisman says, great play for nothing. Good for Will. After the game, he called it a legendary play, and it was. I mean, that is awesome. In that moment, to block a field goal, to do it in that way, to display athleticism and all that jazz, I mean, that play was insane. Absolutely, unequivocally insane. So, hey, man, Will McDonald should be very proud of that play. Unfortunately, it doesn't end up being in the win, but there it was. That was it. That excitement. Because we're probably never going to play it again. One more time, here it is. Because for every game we do live, play-by-play, and a watch party for every Jets game, one more time, let's pour one out for this moment, because I guess I'll probably never play this again. Why would I? I don't know. But here it is. Oh, my goodness. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We need a block. Will McDonald, is he on the edge? I can't see. But let's get a block, baby, or just a straight-up miss. Oh, Will McDonald blocked it. He blocked it. Oh, my God. Will McDonald got that. Will McDonald got that. Oh, my God. He's going to score a touchdown. Oh, my God. Will McDonald blocked it for a touchdown. Get out of here. Oh, my good golly. Oh, the Jets got the miracle. The Jets got the miracle. Will McDonald blocked it and took it to the house. 90 seconds later, Morgan Freeman's voice comes over. The Jets lost that game. And now we're joined by beat reporter from JetsXFactor.com, Nick Faria. Nick? Nick, sorry, we have you on mute there. Oh, we lost Nick. We'll have Nick Faria in just a few moments here on the show. I think we got Nick back. 1 second. Nick Faria, our beat reporter from JetsXFactor.com, will be joining us here in just a moment. By the way, Alon says that moment can't be unwatched. Yeah, I'm going to have that forever. Like I said, I just wish that would have been for better circumstances, but nonetheless, here we are. Let's go back to him. Nick Faria, beat reporter from JetsXFactor.com. Oh, we lost Nick again. All right, we'll try to get Nick here in just a moment, try to figure out whatever technical issues may be happening. Unbelievable. And then, of course, come on, like the Aaron Glenn strut. Did you guys see that? Here's the mini version. And we'll play the longer one. If we get some super chats and memberships, there's a longer version of Aaron Glenn dancing on the sideline. Unfortunately, like I said, it ends up being for a loss. But yes, we have the longer version too, which is sort of funny. Because here's the thing, and I don't know who said this on social media, but it's totally 100% accurate. It's totally 100% accurate. there's a lot of people out there that their criticism of Robert Saleh was, this guy never shows any emotion. Can you like show a sign of life, dude? Like, there's a lot of people that wanted that from Robert Saleh, and he never showed it. And now you have Aaron Glenn, who is showing it. Nick Faria, by the way, is restarting his situation. Okay. All right. We'll try to have Nick Faria on in a second. He's having a technical issue. We'll have that figured out in a second. But no, real quick here is that a lot of people for Robert Saleh, the previous head coach of the Jets, a lot of Jet fans complain, oh, God, like, look at this guy. He never shows any emotion. Now Aaron Glenn shows emotion, and people are like, hey, dude, look at the scoreboard. There's plenty of time left. What are you doing, you idiot? Come on, man. Just like me doing the play-by-play. Say, hey, Paul, you should have known. A minute 47 seconds left or whatever. Dude, I'm a fan, man, and Aaron Glenn is passionate. I've got no problem with Aaron Glenn strutting his stuff all over the place. Come on, man. Yeah, see, there's others. I knew that people were going to complain about it. Maybe get your team ready for the next possession. You're not playing anymore. I don't know, man. People are going to complain. When Robert Saleh didn't show any emotion, people complain. What a lifeless zombie robot. Then we have the other side, where Aaron Glenn shows passion. We're like, hey, dude, get ready for the next play. Okay, well, everyone's not going to be pleased, I guess. DNY for Life, we got a YouTube super chat coming through. He says, wait 1 second. Here we go. Super chat coming through. Wow. DNY for Life, thank you for the $5 super chat. That block was crazy. We were yelling together. The better times are coming. I agree, but it fucking sucks to still be in this place. JTS Jet. The video package we'll play for you, DNY for Life, is AG's full version of what happened on that block. Here it is. Again, I wish it wasn't for a loss, but come on, man, that AG energy. That's terrific. That's terrific. Aaron Glenn dancing. That is terrific. So, hey, like I said, I wish it was for a win. It wasn't. That's the fact of the matter. It absolutely wasn't, but that was still pretty cool. So thank you, DNY for Life, for this super chat. We'll add it to your previous total here. Thank you kindly. And there we go. We'll add it to our emoji contest, which, by the way, folks, we're running out of time for our emoji contest here on the channel. By the way, DNY for Life, real quick. You picked up 2 more raffle tickets. You have 26 raffle tickets. I'll update that on the scrolling ticker here in just a little bit. But you guys are running out of time for the month contest. The month contest is this month here. I'll throw it up here on the big board here. Let me get the raffle. Again, if you spend $3 on the channel, you guys have an opportunity to win some sweet-ass prizes, baby. All you have to do is spend $3 on the YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the little money sign, and you can send it along through, baby. And you'll have a chance to win all these fabulous prizes. This is good throughout the rest of September, folks. Throughout the rest of September. Let's throw it up right here on the big board, and thank you, DNY for Life. Here it is. We've got a New York Jets sideline hoodie. We've got a New York Jets polo. Both of those, of course, brand new. A random vintage Jets player t-shirt from the past. Nice little gift there. That'll be a nice surprise. We have a one-of-a-kind Jet Zone full banner. My former co-host is Ty Butler. You guys may know him from ESPN New York. He's filled in for Michael K. Show and doing all kinds of stuff over there at ESPN New York. He does an amazing job. And you guys will get a personalized autographed copy of Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football, donated by Badshaw, baby. And once that winner is selected on October 1st, again, your raffle tickets are good throughout the rest of September. Once that winner is selected for October 1st, we'll reach out to you and say, what would you like the inscription to be on the book? So again, all of these items will go to one lucky winner on October 1st. So guys, keep sending it through. Again, $3 a raffle ticket. There are no limit on how many raffle tickets you can have. Again, we should be joined in just a moment by beat reporter Nick Faria of JetsXFactor.com, having some technical difficulties here. We'll possibly open up the phone lines here in just a second as we wait for him to come on here, and we'll work all that in. Hennessy Heisman says, if we would have won the game, everyone would love the Glenn dance. That's my point. Like, he didn't, so people are like, ooh, this. Again, just because I celebrate my Will McDonald play-by-play moment, which was cool and organic and real, or the Aaron Glenn dance, that doesn't mean that I'm okay with losing. There can be separate things. It's not this or that. It's not black or white. There's gray in the middle. And there's gray in the middle here of that. I appreciate Aaron Glenn being expressive on the sidelines for good and bad reasons. We love it when Arian Smith blows, what was an illegal formation penalty because he was supposed to be on the line of scrimmage or off the line of scrimmage, and AG tears into him. We love that emotion. And then this emotion with doing it, people are like, celebrating early. I just feel like, people just can't people just can't do it either way. Troy Sturgis says, when you did that, I thought to myself, wow, I'm not the only crazy Jets fan. Oh my, I lost it, man, because it was do or die. Everything lined up for that. The only chance the Jets had was to block it or this guy to just wildly miss, which is possible. The kicker had struggled throughout the season, didn't really struggle against the Jets that much, but he had struggled throughout the season. So I guess that's possible. But also we're down 6. So like blocking it and potentially returning it for a touchdown could have saved the game, we thought, and the play happened. So, and the anticipation that earlier in the game, I'm like, man, Will, it's getting close. Could he finally block it when the moment's on the line? So there's all this sort of buildup, and then for it to actually happen, an explosion of, reaction. We have 400 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. Here's what we're going to do as we wait for Nick Faria's situation. We will go to the phone lines, and you guys can feel free to call into the show and tell me how much of an idiot I am, apparently for liking that dance too much. But thank you, DNY, for live for the super chat. We'll play a quick hep timeout. Your phone calls next, and we should be joined shortly by beat reporter Nick Faria of JetsXFactor.com. More coming up.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. The call-in line is now open. It is the pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. And I just want to address this real quick. Phone lines are open, so feel free to call in. You guys are all good to call in. Please. I encourage your phone calls. Feel free. What I just wanted to put up here is, of course, number one Austrian Jet fan. Let's get to that, of course. Gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Hopefully we're not hearing those draft times anytime soon beyond the Boy Green Daily aspect. I know we're 0-3, but we can park that conversation, at least for the foreseeable future, hopefully. So thank you, number one Austrian Jet fan. You now have 121 raffle tickets so far this month. So God bless. Thank you so much for your support here on the channel. Much appreciated. By the way, that membership went to, let me make sure we get that real quick, went to Joseph Landis, who, by the way, is coming to our Boy Green tailgate. So, Joseph, there you go. There's your coffee club membership happening here on the program. I appreciate it. Again, 121 raffle tickets for our guy, our number one Austrian Jet fan. Thank you kindly. All right. I appreciate that. One thing I just want to get to real quick is I heard some commentary live during the show and after it. What was Will McDonald doing? Why didn't he drop? And I'm like, what are you people talking about? What? Drop? We were down 6. And did this offense show you any guarantee that they were going to score a touchdown? I don't fucking think so, buddy. So we can all try to get into 2020 hindsight here. If the Jets could have won the game with a field goal, okay, you want to talk about getting down or something? We could talk about it. Down 6? Hell no. Will McDonald run that ass to the end zone, baby? Come on. That's a little too hindsight for me on some of these people talking it up like this or that. Nah. I don't think so. Don't think so. Anywho, let's do this. Your phone calls are waiting. We'll get to you guys too. And we will take those phone calls with my cohort for today's festivities. It is beat reporter Nick Faria of JetsXFactor.com. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. Apologies for the lateness, but we're back and running. We're good to go.
We are. Yeah. Nick, I don't know if it came through with your StreamYard issues. Did you see my play-by-play of that Will McDonald play?
I did. I saw bits and pieces of it. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, it didn't come through with a win, but that is the NFL. That's the crux of the NFL and why this game is so great and also so heartbreaking at the same time.
Yep, that beautifully said. Very cruel, and in your game, for your Eagles, blocked the field goal and actually won the game. That's and here's a fun fact. I didn't know this. After all my writing and podcasting got done, I like, let me flip on old Football Night in America. Boop. And they say, hey, can you guys believe this was the most non-offensive touchdowns in a single week in NFL history? Let's go through them. Boom, boom, boom. They show all these crazy-ass plays. And then Chris Sims goes, hey, guys, did you know the Jets were the only team that scored one of those non-offensive touchdowns that lost the game? Everyone else won. And then someone else on the panel goes, oh, that's weird. Man, 95% of the time you win those games. Jet's gonna jet. Anywho, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm catching strays just watching Football Night in America to try to catch up on what the hell happened. Oh, God, what a brutal statistic fun fact from the game in week 3. Oh.
And it's also kind of, and I said this on Twitter almost immediately after the Bucs had won. You're seeing the duality of where the Jets are. They need to learn how to win. They need to learn how to pull out some of those games. And that takes time. That takes years of working together, being involved together at the same time. You look at a team like Philly; they were 4-11-1 in 2020, and it was looking very, very bleak. They started 2-5 the very next year with the new coaching staff. They did not look good, but then they started to learn how to win, and that comes as you grow together with this new coaching staff. So I know it looks bleak at 0-3. 0-3 obviously tells a story of a very bad football team, and clearly the tape doesn't show that they are even competent enough in some areas. But you've played 3 playoff teams a year prior to start the season. You were in 2 of those games, 2 of them coming down to the final seconds with a lead. I'm not saying that's progress because you obviously want to win that game, but with this new coaching staff, with this new system, that's an important step because eventually you're going to learn how to turn those games around and make those one-score games come out in your favor.
Which we can only hope it happens sooner rather than later, of course, for this team. And that's where we want to be. That's where we hope to be. But it's going to be on the Jets to handle their own business, and we will see if they're able to do that. Let's get to a super chat, and then we'll get to the phone lines to see a lot of people want to call into the show. Mr. Chill211 King is involved here. Thank you for the super chat, my friend.
Wow.
I appreciate the Aaron Glenn dance. Your reaction. I had the same reaction. Also, I didn't trust the defense to stop them. I believe we will get it together. That's the other thing I wanted to say here on that Will McDonald stop or this. Like, this is what should have happened. The real thing that should have happened, Nick, is the defense gets a bloody stop, for God's sakes. There's a minute 40 on the clock. Sure, the Tampa Bay has plenty of timeouts, but if you stop the Bucs, they punt, or they wouldn't punt it because the game was on the line, but like interception, fumble, whatever happens, you stop them, Jets win. So Will McDonald's play is the crazy-ass play it was supposed to be and is heralded in Jets history forever. The defense didn't get the stop. If we were to criticize anyone, not Will McDonald sliding early before the end zone, no. How about the defense get a flipping stop? But when the game was on the line, sacking up, going, guys, look at what McDonald just did. We've got this. Let's all rally together and just find one way to stop once this team, and we win the game. And they were unable to do so. I think that's really where we're at, Nick. That was what should have happened, and it didn't.
Yeah, and the other side that doesn't obviously look good is the fact that Mike Evans was out during that final drive. I believe he had that hamstring injury. No one knows if he's going to play next week or not. Right. But that passing offense was really banged up. And yes, Sauce Gardner didn't play at times. He got hurt. All that needs to be taken into account. But Baker Mayfield is still a very good quarterback, arguably a top 10 quarterback in this league. And he certainly played like it when it mattered most. So to me, and again, I also want to point out, the Jets start to the season, they're 0-3. The Giants, 0-3. And the Giants, I think, have looked a lot worse than the Jets, at least at this point. So we're kind of comparing bad and really bad. But the combined opponents of who the Jets have played are 8-1. It's not like they're playing some bad football teams and they're making, all these mental mistakes that just you obviously want to rip your hair out. They're doing that against some of the best teams in football. Eventually, I don't think this record is going to continue. They have later on in the season some winnable games, so I think they're going to be able to stack up some wins, build some momentum. But this was always in year one specifically of Aaron Glenn. I think a majority of the frustration for Jet fans is they look at the last 14 years and say, that's all we've heard. Moral wins is all we've heard. Absolutely no reason for us to be happy about a moral win. But they completely forget the fact that this is a brand new coaching staff. They completely forget the fact that a brand new coaching staff has nothing to do with the previous years of losing. And we can pinpoint all the similarities here and there about Aaron Glenn not having his team prepared and this and that. I mean, last year, for 3 years, all I heard was that Robert Saleh was a mess of a coach because he wasn't emotional on the sidelines. He wasn't involved. It didn't look like he was enjoying himself being out there on the field. You see Aaron Glenn dancing on the sideline yesterday. I thought it was great because I thought it showed the antithesis of what Robert Saleh was. So because Jet fans want to pin 14 years of losing on Aaron Glenn, you're going to get this kind of product and you're going to get this kind of anger. But I just think that it's completely I just think we're arguing and upset about the wrong thing. If you want to be upset about 14 years, I get it. But this is a brand new coaching staff. And just because the team is learning how to win under Aaron Glenn and we're learning how to win against all these other people doesn't mean that Aaron Glenn's going to be a failure because he's not winning in year one. It's so you're missing the point if you're expecting playoffs every year when for 14 years you haven't. I look at this and say the quality of play is so important for Aaron Glenn in this first year, very similar to the Detroit Lions with Dan Campbell. The quality of play in Detroit in that first year was really, really bad. But then it got better as the year went on, and they started winning some games. And you started building that momentum into that next year where they won 9 games. Is that the next barometer? I think it's certainly a possibility, but I think we really need to step aside and say, are we angry at Aaron Glenn for 14 years of frustration, or are we angry at him because, well, they're not winning right now against some of the best teams in football?
Good moves. Yeah,
and listen, I loved it. I saw that. I was like, there's some moxie here on the sideline. There's some joy in making big plays. I saw that. I said, okay, they may not win this game. You're seeing the incremental improvements. And yeah, I saw a comment here in the chat saying the Jets played horribly for 3 quarters and then Tampa Bay stopped coaching. Okay, let's make that argument. Let's say that that's the case. Right. The Dallas Cowboys were down by 3 scores, and they did nothing the rest of the way. They did nothing. They lost by 3 scores. You talk about the comeback in Philadelphia. You talk about major comebacks all throughout. The fact that they were continuing to fight is a good sign for a young coaching staff that is 0-3. It means that this team, whether we agree or not, is actually close because you're actually in games against great teams. Tampa Bay is going to be a playoff team this year. Pittsburgh hasn't really looked good, but they were a playoff team last year. Buffalo, obviously a big blow-up, but that's a major barometer of trying to reach. So I look at this more as, okay, the moxie is there. Now the wins need to come in. That may take some time. That may take a couple more weeks. But what exactly are we expecting here? Were we expecting a Justin Fields-led team to win 12 games and defeat the Buffalo Bills just because we want him to? That doesn't add up.
Well, 12-5 is still possible. I mean, you're just getting some of the losses out of the way now. There may still be time. Let's get another super chat in here from Troy Sturgis. And again, your phone calls will be coming up here shortly.
Wow.
He's got 4 raffle tickets now. Thank you, Troy. He says, obviously, Sauce is getting lost in his own sauce. Should we start calling him a mod now, Nick Faria? What's going on here?
Look, the stars need to perform a lot better. And I'll throw Garrett Wilson here as well. There were a couple of plays where I thought if a number 1 receiver is being paid $35 million or over $30 million is needing to produce, he needs to do more than just 8 yards a catch. I thought Sauce and Garrett need to be better. The offensive line was horrific, and that is supposed to be the strength of the team. Not a good look at all from Fashanu, from John Simpson. I thought Membu held his own, but by and large, the offensive line was very, very poor. The defensive line wasn't that much better, but they're also banked up. Michael Clemens was really a non-factor in general. I thought Quinton Williams had a good game, but the linebackers, to me, are probably the most concerning. Quincy Williams and Javian Sherwood have not played well to start this season, and it has gotten more and more ugly by the game. And like I said, Sauce needs to play better. I thought the one pass interference call on Mike Evans was egregiously terrible in terms of a call because it's not pass interference. And I would
Totally
give
not.
Sauce a pass on that.
Yeah.
But he still lost that matchup to Mike Evans. And I think
He
it was
did,
very, very
definitely.
good that he lost that matchup. He needs to be better. Garrett needs to be better. And the linebackers have got to get it together because they are just absolutely getting steamrolled both in pass and against the run. And it is a big problem for this defense.
In about an hour's time or so, Nick, we will both learn together how serious perhaps that Quincy Williams injury is now that the Jets have gone back from Tampa back to the New York, New Jersey area to get some more scans on Quincy. It did not look good. They listed him out for a shoulder. I'm a little worried about maybe a collarbone or clavicle. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just noticing a comment I'm seeing from our friend. Seeing from my friend Alan here. At 23-6, Todd Bowles stopped coaching. I'm sorry, but if that was Sean McVay, the game ended 37-10. I would assume that Sean McVay having a 26-7 lead going into the third and fourth quarters should be able to pull out a blowout win. But what do I know? I just saw it live happen yesterday.
Yeah, that's also true. That's poor form on bringing up Rams leads that collapse against certain teams. I would say this for with Alon's take. Like, there's no winning with the Jets, right? They made this fourth quarter rally, but the Buccaneers allowed it to happen.
That's not how the NFL works. But that's also not how the NFL works. And also, we have to acknowledge the very real fact. Tyrod Taylor, this is kind of who he is, right? He'll make you some plays, he'll lose you some plays. And quite frankly, I thought he played well overall, but that interception is the reason why the Jets lost that game. They were in this game. We can argue about how, the Jets were getting blown out the entire way. They had a very good first drive, resulted in a field goal. I believe the score was 13-6 with them with the ball right before the half to try and get some points out of it, and then the pick six happens. This was not some blowout beat down of a ball game that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were just, pummeling the Jets into submission. That took a little bit of time here because the Jets were really good in the red zone yesterday. They were aided by some penalties, but some of those penalties were actually forced. And yeah, the turnover happened. The turnover killed them. And if the turnover doesn't happen, you could argue the Jets probably come back and win that game based off how they played in the fourth quarter. I do think that the coaching staff kind of sort of put Tyrod in a straitjacket and said, don't lose us this game. Don't do this. Don't do that. Take the easy throws. And that's kind of where you always get yourself into trouble. But again, we're looking at this Jets team in two different lights. If you're looking at them with the understanding that this is a brand new coaching staff, brand new everything, and that it takes time for everything to develop in that account, then to be patient. And you look at the Detroit Lions as the example of how early struggles in a year can actually turn out to be a good thing because it builds that camaraderie, it builds that chemistry that a team desperately needs. If you're looking at it from the perspective of this is a playoff team, we need to be in the playoffs, you're going to come away disappointed. But I got to be honest, I don't know who the hell thought that the playoffs were a guarantee going into this season. I thought it was a possibility, but nowhere was I going to say this is going to be a guaranteed playoff team. Too many things had to happen in terms of the if game for that to be the case. So we need to take a step back and recognize what team we're actually talking about. We're not talking about a playoff contender. We're talking about a team trying to build the right way. That's essentially what the main argument's about.
Again, we got 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. We have 53 likes, but 154 watching specifically on YouTube. What the hell is going on? Like the gosh darn video, people. And now, Nick, you are opening yourself up to the phone line. So let's get it started. Hep joined us first. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Nick. Hey, Paul. I'm concerned a little bit. I had seen Green Bean's post yesterday, and he's talking about that the Jets, I guess, I don't know what you would call them, they're cracking down on people who are tailgating. And two tailgaters that have been there for like over 30 years have been doing it for a real long time. One of them got arrested. One of them got banned, and then he had to go plead to get back, into the thing. And then there was the thing last year with Fireman Ed, not putting him on the screen and stuff. What's going on with the front office? You know anything about that, Nick?
I don't. And I'm going to politely back away from this conversation because I don't have any information
Yeah,
regarding
sure.
that. So.
Right.
Sure.
The only thing I will answer here, Hep, and I'll step in for Nick for on this question and commentary is from what I hear is that I don't know about the fireman ed stuff inside. I know nothing about that, so that's a different conversation. But the stuff in the parking lot, from what I'm hearing, is that the people that are doing the blown out massive tailgates, to your point, that have been there forever, I believe they didn't have an alcohol license, is what I heard, or a liquor license or something to sell. So that caused a lot of issues. For our tailgate, the good news is that there should be no worries here. It's a couple of guys BYOBing a couple of coolers over. So I got no bar, nothing. So, if they want to arrest people for drinking alcohol in public, which they can't do in that situation for the tailgate, we've got nothing to worry about for ours. We're mom and pop shop as far as I'm concerned.
Was also there for the first two home games of the season. To be fair.
Okay, that's
so
good to know for this year. Yeah, okay, so there you go. Whatever.
Now, Nick, there is one thing I'm concerned about. I'm concerned with on both sides of the ball is the chess match between the coaches as far as setting up the game plan and then making on the fly adjustments. I'm really a little disappointed, especially with Wilkes. Do you have any take on those things?
Yeah, so let's start with Engstrand because I think he's been the more positive coach, at least at this point. I saw some adjustments yesterday that were very, very promising. I like the fact that they were able to get points on the first drive because that tells you the script. Obviously, the first, 10, 20 plays are scripted. The script works. It can get this team into scoring position. So I thought that was very important. I will say the one issue that I have with the Jets right now in their offense is short yardage. For some reason, this is a team that voted against the ban of the tush push, but doesn't want to use the tush push. And that's where I look and say, okay, what exactly are we doing here? You can have Braylon Allen as your bell cow power back, but if you put him on the field in 4th and 1 in a 7-step drop back from the quarterback, he's going to get blown up at the line of scrimmage. It's just going to happen. I'm a little confused why they just don't use the quarterback sneak. You don't even have to use the tush push. Just use the quarterback sneak, and it's probably going to work because quarterback sneaks are very, very effective from an overall NFL perspective. So that's the one thing where I look, I'm like, why isn't Engstrand doing this? It makes absolutely no sense. The other side for Steve Wilkes, it is concerning. The secondary hasn't played well, and they're not really looking any better. The defensive line, I think, has been okay. Quinnen's had a really good year to start. Jawan Briggs has been excellent so far. That was a big-time move from Darren Mushi. I love what I see from Will McDonald based on the fact that he's a pass rusher. But like I talked about, the big concern is the linebackers. Even before he went down, Quincy Williams was not having a very good year. Jamien Sherwood has looked lost at times as well. They need to step up. And I think part of that is the learning process. We can talk about how C.J. Mosley was great for the Jets, but C.J. Mosley was also great because he played 8 years in the league before he got to New York. He was a seasoned veteran. He had seen a lot. This is really the first time that Jamien Sherwood is running a defense with him as the main guy. So I think there are some mistakes that you're making, some checks that they're making that are just blatant mistakes. I do think that's part of the learning experience of he's really good against the run at times. He's athletic against the pass. They just have to sort of figure it out along the way and get him to a spot where he can make these checks confidently instead of reacting to what the offense is doing. I think that's probably the biggest turning point right now at linebacker. Do I think this defense is going to be a lot better down the stretch? Absolutely. I think they're trying to marry Glenn's scheme with Wilkes' scheme, and that's what's causing a lot of this confusion and causing a lot of just the alignment issues that they have had. But that also takes time, and that's kind of why I'm saying very clearly this team has talent. Right now, the coaching staff is trying to figure themselves out, figure the identity of this defense out. And once they figure that out, I think they'll be a lot better.
Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate you, Hep. Thanks for calling in. A couple of super chats to get to. Lou B, Super Jets fan, chiming in.
Wow.
All right. Lou B, by the way, you have 10 raffle tickets for our contest. He says, I'm on the plane right now with Jake Asman and a bunch of fans who are so upset. It's time for the GM to go out and get some key players. Spend the money now, he says. Nick, your thoughts?
I completely disagree with this, and I think it would be one of the dumbest things they ever do. First off, what free agent are they picking up in week 4 of the NFL season? That's number one. What free agent are they picking up that's going to turn this team into a playoff contender, which apparently everyone is demanding them to be? The second thing is this. The Jets have $62 million in cap space next year. They're going to have to figure out some of those things. Quentin Williams is going to need a new contract. Quincy Williams is probably going to be gone. There's going to be some questions overall about this team. They're going to have plenty of draft picks to choose from.
Sure.
Year one is not the demarcation point for if a coaching staff has it or not. It's the same thing for a quarterback. If a quarterback plays well his rookie year, great. If he doesn't play well, that's okay too, because it's a first year. You're sort of going through the overall review process. For the Jets to come out and say, we need to spend and get players now, instead of the offseason where free agency should be a little bit better. The draft is going to be a lot better for the quarterback position. You want to spend money on this team now instead of waiting next year when you're going to be in a little bit of a better spot with your coaching staff, with your players. There's going to be more chemistry. You're going to have a full year to work together, so you really know what your identity is going to be. Making sure that demanding a GM make moves in September, I think is completely short-sighted. It is completely, I'm tired of my team losing. We need to spend money just because I want to spend money so we can, move forward and start winning games. But that's not how you win games. You don't win games by spending money on players. You win games by finding the right players that fit your scheme and your team. I could not disagree more with this take. For Jets fans to call Darren Muji to say that he needs to spend money right now, I think is ludicrous. This is not the year to do that. This is not the regular season to do that. And to do it going into week 4 is utterly shocking to me, to say the least. This is not when you do this, because there's no players in free agency that are going to turn this thing around.
So you're saying there's no Davante Adams being traded to this team in week 7?
Sorry, repeat. I'm dealing with flu-like symptoms. So.
Of course, no. And you're probably questionable for the game this week. We'll keep an eye out for that injury report coming out later. No, so I'm asking you. So you're telling me there's no Davante Adams being traded to this team in week 7, like last year?
So that's a great example. They traded for Davante Adams. Did that do anything to help the Jets win games?
Well, not in particular that I can. The Jaguars game maybe where he had 200 yards in the final 5 minutes, I guess.
And it cost him a top 5 pick. And seriously, what? That's where I say, if we're looking at this from the lens, everyone wants to look at this from the lens of 14 years of no playoffs. You can't look at it that way. You have to look at it from, this is a first-year coaching staff, and this coaching staff has really had a really tough test because they're going up against teams that are combined 8-1 going into their games against the Jets. It's okay to say they need more time. It's okay to say that in year 1. Now, if we're saying this in year 3, probably even in year 2, that's going to be a problem. If those same mistakes are happening in year 2, year 3, that's a problem that needs to be fixed.
All right, let me throw. I wasn't going to throw this out there, but I saw someone bring it up in the comments section. So Phil asked, I like Paul's idea, which I put out on heavy.com, Tanner McKee. A guy, and I quoted the famous Nick Faria in the story this offseason. I have the quote actually, so let me get it up here. Some people may go, who the hell is Tanner McKee? He's the 6'6" cancer surviving quarterback. I mean, he's got a wild story, and he's 25 years of age. And here it is. Here's the Nick Faria quote. I have it here right in the story. Quote, there are at least 10 teams in the NFL who would be in the playoffs if Tanner McKee was their starting quarterback. I'm not even joking. This kid is legit. You said that back in August of this year. What about Tanner McKee? Could that be a Jets trade? Say, hey, let's give the kid a shot, huh?
Well, first off, I'm a big Tanner McKee fan, obviously. You look at every single game he's played in Philly, and he's been fantastic. Last year they played the Giants. He was excellent. Played the Cowboys in garbage time, still blew them out. He's ready. He will be a starting quarterback in this league. I compare him a little bit to Matt Schaub because Schaub played behind Michael Vick for a little bit, came over, and then just took the Texans to heights that they never thought was possible, playoffs multiple years and everything like that. The way that I look at it, though, is if you're going to trade for Tanner McKee, you better make sure that the draft compensation starts with a 2. Let's just put it that way.
I started out at a 3.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. And the other thing is this, Howie Roseman, he'll make trades that I kind of look back and I'm like, why did he do this? Why did he do that? He understands the value of quarterbacks. and he is not going to give up a good backup, and a really good backup at that, just because the team is in desperate need of one.
Okay, there you go. Well, I tried, but thank you, Phil, for throwing that out there. I forgot I wrote about that last week, so that could have been a move, I suppose. Let's get another super chat, and then we'll go back to the phone lines here. Speaking of, let's go to Phil here on the channel.
Wow.
How many wins, Nick, do you consider success for Aaron Glenn here in year one?
I don't think there's a set win total that they need to hit. I think they need to play good football, and if the quality of play is there and continues to improve as we get on to the later parts of the season, I think that's going to be the barometer of this, if this is a successful year or not. If they come out and say that they start 0-5 and the team just looks bad and it's only getting worse, and then towards the later half of the season the same problems continue to persist, then we're talking about this season being a failure for Aaron Glenn. But as of right now, I don't think there's an exact win total we have to say that's an abject failure. I think if quality of play is there and they're continuously improving week to week, which, by the way, we kind of saw this week. We can argue all the live long day about the fact that they were down 23-6. But you take away one interception return for a touchdown, and this is a completely different ballgame. Turnovers will kill you, as they always do. They played better than they did against the Bills. That's a good response. If they come out and beat Miami, they somehow beat the Dallas Cowboys in a couple of weeks, we're looking at this team a lot differently, aren't we? If they come out and they start the season slow, but they win 5 of their final 7 games, but they only finish 5-12, I think we're looking at this team a lot differently. So just because people are like, well, what about this? What about that? I don't think a successful season is quantified this year specifically based on wins. It's about quality of play with this new coaching staff.
Very fair. Good comments here. Again, we have 500 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. That is the way for this show to get in front of other Jet fans, so make sure you guys do so. Let's go to them. We got a lot of callers here on the program as Nick is battling his flu game here. This is the Michael Jordan flu game for Nick Faria right now on Boy Green Daily. Up next, we have Kyle Clifton here on the show. Kyle?
What's going on, Boy Green?
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
So, I'm going to take issue with some of Nick's statements here.
Okay.
I don't think, Lou be excluded, that the fan base is expecting playoffs. They are expecting improvement, right? And if that means 7 or 8 wins, 6 wins, that would be fine. I think that we were told that there was a lot of talent on this team and that this team was underachieving, and we all seem to agree upon it.
Yeah.
And we get to a new scheme, and all of a sudden, Sauce Gardner is falling apart, right? We were told that Olaf Shano was going to be our left tackle for the next 10 years. He had an awful game yesterday.
He did.
I was distracted yesterday. I was out at kids' sports, track meets, soccer, keeping one eye on it. I think the frustration is coming from a lack of ability to do the things that we were told we were going to be able to do well. Run the ball consistently. Protect the quarterback. They gave up 4 sacks yesterday, and they were only able to get 1 against a team that was missing 3 starting offensive linemen. Right? You have to be able to get off the field on 3rd and 29. You know, whether the penalty was valid or not, you have to be able to get off. Like, that's what good teams do. It is a race to mid-20s every game in the NFL. Some days 23 points is going to win it for you. Some days 24. Most days 25 will win it for you. 26 is great. 27, you're usually in great shape. But the way you do that is you either suppress points or you score points. And right now, we're not very good at scoring points, and we are terrible at suppressing points. We cannot get off the field in 3rd and long for whatever reason. Penalties, bad cornerback play.
Kyle, what do you want Sauce to do on that particular play then?
You know, he's a boundary corner. He's a 2-time All-Pro. Like, I understand that a lot of people don't like the call. It's 3rd and 29. I don't understand why someone didn't get home in that situation. I had people. I was in a Discord yesterday. I had people saying, "Well, they should have just declined the penalty and kicked the 48-yard field goal." That is not how you win.
Well, but Kyle, you're also misunderstanding some of my points because I also mentioned before how the stars of this team need to step up a lot more than they have.
No, I think we agree on that point.
The other piece to it though is the offensive line didn't have a very good game yesterday, and they probably didn't play well the last 2 games. But I thought they played really, really, really well against Pittsburgh, all things withstanding. And I think we're looking at this offensive line, and we're also forgetting the fact that this is still a very young group. So they need time to gel, and it's not going to be a finished product in week 3 of the NFL season. Like these things do take time.
No, I think we all understand that, but the lack of they were non-competitive for 3 quarters yesterday, Nick, is the problem.
They were competitive. They were in that game up until the pick 6.
That's fair.
It was a 7-point game.
It was a one-score game. Yeah.
They were going in for a tie.
Nick, weren't they down 20-3 at some point? What was it? What was the
after
20? So after the pick 6, they were down 20-6. They're now down 2 touchdowns after the pick 6.
That's a turnover that you can't have. I'm not debating that, but to say they were getting their asses kicked that entire time, I think is I don't think it's fair to the team that was actually in that game for the most part before that.
Yeah, the fan base is in absolutely no mood to listen to silver linings. And I have a great deal of respect, and I'm just the frustration is starting to bubble over because we thought we had an adult in the room, and we thought we had some decent players on the team, and to me it looks like it's the same old Jets, and it's super frustrating. Like I understand the whole thing about it's a hybrid scheme, and they're trying to bring it up. I mean, at some point you have to start looking at the players and the coaches. I'm of the opinion that they had a very bad day 3 of the draft this past year. I know it's still very early.
We can't be Kyle. We can't be doing this 3 games into their rookie year. We can't.
Why not? It's not really 3 games into it, right? Because there were other ways to address their needs, such as free agency. But we knew that the defensive line was going to be a problem the entire time, and they totally ignored it. That's the problem, Nick.
Okay, but Malachi Moore and some of these other guys, I think, can be developed into good players. But to essentially demand that they do this now, I think is not fair.
Defensive line.
Sure, yeah. But then they responded by getting Jawan Briggs. That was a big-time deal. He's played pretty damn well so far. And you've got him now under team control for a couple more years now.
Great. But he's a spare part. He's a role player. Like we had an opportunity in this draft to go out and get a defensive lineman that could make a difference. That is what our identity was when Saleh's defense was good, an ability to get after the quarterback, which we can't do anymore.
The one thing I would just say, so on the final stats, right, the Jets only sacked Baker Mayfield once, and that's true. And some people may not like the thing I'm about to say, but the Buccaneers had 7 holding calls. And some of those would have been sacks if the Buccaneers did not hold. So the one number is a little deceiving, but it is the number that it is.
But you know what? We still glean the benefit from that, though, Paul. Like if we're gleaning the benefit from the penalty, it doesn't matter if they're holding or they're not holding.
Well, if we're getting phantom PI calls on quarters that didn't actually touch a receiver on a pass that went over his head by 10 yards.
It's a trend at this point, though, Nick. They can't get off the field on 3rd and long.
I'm not debating that.
Never the reason.
That particular play, they gave up, what was it, a field goal after it? That was the tying field goal, 3-3?
That ended up being a field goal, yep.
I mean, that should have been a punt. And that was an egregious pass interference call.
I think that this optimism, while well intended, is misguided.
It's week 3. We have no idea. And listen, I could be wrong by the end of the year. They could go 1-17. They could also come out with 5 wins and match what they did last year. To sit here and say that frustration is boiling over after 3 weeks when you played 3 teams with a combined score of 8-1, with a team that, we expected them to be a little bit better, but you're playing 2 Super Bowl contenders and 1 team that really, really wants to be a Super Bowl contender.
Who's the second Super Bowl contender?
Tampa Bay is absolutely a Super Bowl contender.
That division is awful, and they are flawed.
They're the one team that knows how to beat Philadelphia. They are absolutely a Super Bowl contender. They're the only team in that conference that can beat them consistently. They have to be accounted for that. They have a 2-game lead in their division. We can say what we want about this and that and how it's Bowles, it's Baker. At the end of the day, when they are fully healthy, they are one of the more dangerous teams in football.
I want to disagree with that assessment, but that's why the world goes around. I appreciate your time, guys.
There he is, Kyle Clifton. Man, there's some intense emotions happening right now on this program. We have plenty of people trying to call into the show. I will get to all of you here on the program. All right, up next, we have another super chat coming in. Lou B's back, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, Lou B. Nick, we have nobody to throw to. Garrett G5, Garrett Wilson only. We can't wait for years to throw the ball. So many guys were out there. So, yeah, we need the GM to do something, I guess, specifically at pass catcher is what he's referencing.
So who?
Who's still out there? Well, Mari retired, so that's gone. Keenan Allen went over the Chargers. By the way, Keenan's been terrific. Oh, my God. He's been great in every game, so massive salute there. But maybe he would have only played for a contender. There was rumors about Chiefs and Chargers, so maybe he would have never come here. But Keenan was really good. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look at whatever free agents are available at this point that would, to your point, and you've said this a few times, can they make a difference now as we're a couple weeks into the season? They have to learn the offense. Would they be available to try to help us? Because this is a problem that a lot of Jet fans are like, hey, man, this is an issue, and they need to, add somebody. And they were trying to say that for a bit of time here. And unfortunately, I think there's two things here. First off, one of the pieces of the puzzle is that, Darren Muji can't fill every hole on the team in a single offseason, but wide receiver 2 felt like a big one. I'm looking at the free agents. There's a lot of there is not a lot of names here. There's hurt Gabe Davis, but he's on the Bills practice squad. And then the top names, quote unquote, top names, according to Spot Trek, are Nelson Aguilar. You remember that guy, Nick? Tyler Boyd, Brandon Powell, Jamison Crowder.
I heard Aguilar, and I just naturally glitched. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Take Nelson Aguilar. Yeah. See how that goes. We need a move. Get a receiver. Sign Nelson Aguilar. Good God.
Yeah, the names are not good.
One drop in this entire fan base is
what's left out in the pool. Nick is not pleased with the responses so far, but hey, there's more responses to come. Let's go. Up next, Philly Noodles.
Hey, Lou B.
There he is.
Lou Bodies, Lou, whatever the fuck you want to call you. Who the fuck is going to come in after 0-3 start and say, you know what? The Jets, that's where I want to play.
Nelson Aguilar, baby.
Yeah, Nelson Aguilar, Pop Warner rejects. What else we got? Let me go get a college kid that's just like in the NIL who wants to jump ship. Like, what are we – dude, everybody cut it out, bro. It's 3 games in, okay? Let's echo the sentiment. They're coming here to change the organization in the right path. That doesn't mean in the first year you're going to the playoffs. If I went 15 years with no playoffs, I don't want 1 year of playoffs to then suck balls again for another 15 years. Let's just get the sentiment out. I've been saying that for like 3 years. I don't want 1 year, and people were like that with the Aaron Rodgers ship. I don't care if we get one season in the playoffs. We just haven't been there in 15 years. What is that? So that's like saying, hey, I don't want to hit the lottery for a good amount of money forever. I just want to do it for like, a quick like $1,000 and then go broke the next day. Like, I don't understand people. This shit is going to take time. Listen, I was there live yesterday. That was such a great feeling that the team didn't quit on itself. And that, first off, if you were there live, that game was in hand until he threw that interception. I was right there. That shit was back and forth. Field goal. PI, penalties, bro, the whole grass was yellow for the most part. It was a flag on every other play, bro. You had to have been there and noticed what happened. Okay, like people tripping, it needs to stop. The worst egregious thing was Baker getting that scamper of 30-something yards. Because
brutal.
Yet again, Indy, I hope you're listening, buddy. Clemens sucks everything out of everything, bro. He could not contain an edge like he hasn't for the past 40 years and let this guy blow past him because he's getting – I don't even know who was even holding him up. Was that a tight end? It wasn't even a lineman, I don't even think. He couldn't even beat an edge. Yeah, a tight end. He couldn't even beat a tight end on the edge. I said, Jermaine Johnson's not playing. We're fucked. That's what I said. to everybody before we sat down. I said, fuck, this is going to suck. And Will almost brought us back all the way. So anybody slide, I would slap your face right now. If you said that to me in person, I would slap the shit out of your face. I'm not even lying, bro. I'm that type of guy. If I say it, I'm going to do it. No. Don't get it. Oh, slide. Yeah, sure. What, fantasy points? What are we counting here? What are we worried about him sliding? That was a victory. He can't break contain. Clemens let him break contain. And we still can't guard a receiver properly. And I've been echoing this since week 1. Thank you, Nick, for saying it. Sherwood looks lost. Very bad. I've been saying this since week 1. I don't know what is going on, but that kid looks lost. Like he is lost in his sauce. His sauce, that's what he's lost in.
He's in a new spot, and he doesn't have a 10-year-old all-pro sitting behind him to help him out on the sideline. Again, it's that takes time. And again, people will look at the numbers, they'll look at the contract and everything, and demand that he be good right away. And that may be fair. That may be a fair statement to make. But I just look at overall, this is a team and a defensive scheme that is trying to marry 2 different points together, and it looks like it. It just looks like it right now.
Yeah, and if it's going to take some time, hey, first off, you basically won week 1. You should have won this week, and you got slapped by Josh Allen and Super Bowl contending company. I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with that, I don't know what you expect out of a 5-win team from the year before. They just only won 5 wins before, and before that was 7. They were never playoff contenders still, even with Rodgers. So please, everybody, calm down. It's like, first off, Carolina spanked whoever they spanked.
Atlanta 30-0, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I still see us beating Atlanta. I still see us beating Carolina. I still see us beating Jacksonville. I still see us splitting 1-1 with the Patriots and the Dolphins. That's what, 5 wins? Oh my God!
New Orleans is obviously on the schedule.
Like in New Orleans, I said 6 to 8 wins. I'm okay with 6. It's still one better, and it is what it is. As long as we build and we have competition, bro. Man, you had to have been there to understand and fully grasp what had happened. But a couple of things real quick. I met Membu's father on the way into the stadium.
Okay.
That man was hammered. I mean, he was drunk. And I was like, oh, he didn't think I believed him. His father, I was like, I met Garrett Wilson's father. He goes, oh, you don't believe me? I was like, oh, what? I was like, wait. I was like, no, I'm saying I met another guy's father. He goes, oh, okay, I'm Membu's father. I said, no, I know that. I heard you, bro. I was like, yeah, let's go. And he was cool as hell. And then what happened? Oh, yeah, my son watched his first Jets game with me yesterday.
Wow, what a game. Yeah.
I know, dude. And I was like, bro, the heat was like 104 with an index of like 110. And I'm getting burnt. My fiance's already gone into the tunnel, to the corridors for air. And I was like, dude, 2 minutes. I looked at him. I was like, man, the field goals, bro. If this, I got to go downstairs. And he's like, Dad, you got to believe. I said, okay, bro. I'm like, all right, I love you. I'll stay seated with you. Bro, me and like 6 other Jets fans were like, I'm grabbing my son. I'm shaking him. I'm like, oh, my God. Bro, so BG, you should have went upside down. You should have did a kick. You should have kicked something in the room. True. You should have kicked something in the room.
That would have been awesome. Philly, thanks for the call, man, and thanks for recapping the thing. And a lot of people apparently are having a problem, Nick, with your comment here. And I just want to highlight, because we have the super chat coming in real quick.
Wow.
The Killer Cub here says $2 super chat. Tampa is a Super Bowl contender. LOL clown emoji. Do you guys think Tampa sucks? Like out in the universe, they're undefeated. They've been 2-0 for like 5 straight years. Like
what are we doing here?
Because Killer Cub, when you give this comment, you it seems like you're implying to me like Tampa is some slap team that the Jets lost to, and I don't understand that at all. I mentioned it before the show. Listen to my words. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the only team in the entire NFC conference that have been to the playoffs in 5 straight years. Think about that for a second. Not the Eagles, not the Packers, not the Cowboys, not the 49ers, not any other team. One team in the entire NFC has been to the playoffs 5 straight years. That's Tampa Bay. And you can make fun of the division if you want in the NFC South. Divisions flip all the time. Divisions are good here. The NFC West used to suck, and now it's just a supposedly awesome division. So I don't understand the people that are pointing out like Tampa stinks. Like we were 0-2 going into the game.
First off,
please,
Jet fans need to understand that if
right.
there's one person who can correctly explain Tampa Bay, it is myself.
All right.
Because they are the one team for some godforsaken reason that my team cannot beat. It has been 2 decades of this bullshit. Pardon my French.
No,
and I have watched my team get their teeth kicked in by this organization for 20 years. Do not tell me that Tampa Bay is not a Super Bowl contender. They are the one team that I don't want to face every single week. If we have a playoff run and Tampa Bay is not in, I believe we can go to the Super Bowl. If we have to face Tampa Bay at any point, I think absolutely not. They are the one team that can stop the defending Super Bowl champions. Do not tell me as Jet fans that mindset is misguided because you don't think Tampa Bay is a Super Bowl contender just because, they finished 9-8 and 10-7 every year, so therefore they're not exactly good. They're just winning a bad division. Don't tell me that if you're not actually watching Tampa Bay games. They are extremely dangerous. They're one of the best teams in the NFC, and they have been well before Baker got there. Baker got there after Tom Brady, and they have not missed a beat. And it is extremely frustrating. I do not like it, and I hate those guys in general for everything that they stand by because they are absolutely the most dangerous team in the NFC. Last year, we have to remember, this is the team that beat Detroit and Philadelphia in the regular season and blew them out. Both of the top 2 seeds in the NFC, Tampa Bay beat last year. Don't tell me that they're not a Super Bowl contender just because you looked at the schedule and saw that this team didn't exactly blow out the Jets like they were supposed to. Give me a break with that.
Oh, there you go. Passionate comment there from our guy, Nick Faria. Look at this. Fastest food reviews. I'm not sure if this is sarcasm, but nonetheless.
Wow.
Kevin Gilbert says Philly Noodles would say if the Jets had Daniel Jones, they'd be 3-0. Let's go, Jets. Is that true? Do you think the Jets would be 3-0 if they have Daniel Jones as their quarterback?
No. First off, I still am not buying the Colts. Okay, they're 3-0. Great.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, there are a lot of 3-0 teams that have been able to win games in general. They had a nice win against Denver, but outside of that, I look at them and I say I still don't trust them to do anything. They celebrate now. I'm sure there will be a fall off.
Okay, there you go. All right. Sorry, Chef or Philly Noodles, whoever takes offense to that comment. All right, let's keep rolling. We got a lot of phone calls here coming up on the show. Up next.
Probably that'll be my last one, Paul. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, your last one is Alon then.
Nick Faria. A few years ago, we were on the same page. We were both on the tank train. I don't know what happened to you because honestly, you said this team should not get a number 2 receiver. You did.
It's not needed in this offense.
It is needed in this offense. You
How?
cannot
They get 5 touches a game.
You can't play with one wide receiver. You just can't. I understand those guys are not getting the balls all the time. You can't play with one starting wide receiver. You just can't.
The number 2 wide receiver in this offense yesterday got 3 targets.
Okay, I don't care about the targets. They're double teaming Garrett because they have no respect for anybody else in this offense. Nobody. Okay. And yesterday, the Jets were down 23-6 to a team with 3 XFL starting offensive linemen with 10-15 to go. So please don't tell me the Jets were in that game. They were not.
The number 2 wide receiver in week 1, the best offensive game.
They were down 3 starting offensive linemen yesterday, and we're down 17 points with 10 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Todd Bowles took his foot off the gas and decided to coach like Todd Bowles. That's what happened yesterday. I'm sorry. That's what happened. Everything after the 10-12 mark I saw as bullcrap. Okay? That game was over. I don't know what Tampa Bay did defensively after that. They played prevent to the 9.
They did.
Okay. They stopped playing at 23-6.
That's not how the NFL works.
I'm listening to these 0-3 Jet fans who are so positive.
Al, I gotta jump. It's 9 o'clock. I gotta jump, buddy.
Okay.
I apologize. Boy Green, I apologize. I'll make it up to you guys next week. I got a work call.
Okay.
See y'all.
Okay, Paul, let me ask you, what an adorable kid, okay?
Oh, thank you.
So, Paul, if they lose next Monday night to the Dolphins, what will be the next excuse?
Oh boy, if they lose, I don't know what the excuse is. If they lose the Dolphins,
I've
they
been
go to
hearing
0-4.
excuses all day long so far. If they lose next Monday night, which they could, they are 3-point dogs.
Sure. Yeah.
What is the next excuse? Oh, we have 13 games left.
That may be what AB says, I guess, probably.
Okay, please. They're 0-3. They're going nowhere. All I want is effort, and my main goal is to find the next quarterback in 7 months. That's it. They don't have a quarterback on this roster. They don't have anything resembling a quarterback on this roster. Yesterday, as I said, they were down 23-6 to a team with 3 XFL starting linemen. That's the bottom line. I learned nothing from yesterday. I learned that this team is horribly coached on defense, and I learned that a lot of people in this fan base have overrated the talent on this defense. There's a lot of overhyped players on this defense. Jamie Sherwood at $15 million a year, overhyped. Michael Carter at $10.25 million a year, overhyped.
Yeah.
Andre Cisco, your boy, $10 million, garbage. Brandon Stevens, 3 years, $36 million, $23 million guaranteed,
That's
garbage.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner, $30.5 million, got toasted yesterday, overhyped. The only guy in this defense that I have full confidence in is number 95. And in my opinion, after this season, if he misses the playoffs for 7 years in a row with no guaranteed money on the books, I go to management and I say, get me the F out of here. And if I was the Jets, knowing that this is a rebuild, which it is, okay? And if a team calls and offers a 1-3 for him, you have to think about it.
I mean, first off, who if you're a contending team, who wouldn't try to offer that for Quinnen, who's 27, years old at this current
He's the only guy on this defense that I have any confidence in a big spot. I like Will McDonald, cannot stop the run ever, okay? He's a one-trick pony. That's it. That's all he is. He's really good at it, but he can't stop the run. Jermaine Johnson, I don't know what Jermaine Johnson's going to be this year, especially after you play him 89% of the snaps in week 1. It's bound that he's going to get hurt, okay? But again, Quinnen is the only guy in this defense right now that I have any confidence in. And again, if they don't make the playoffs 7 years in a row, if I'm him, I ask out. But please, 0-3, there is no hope with this team. None. Zero.
Two things here. You could be right on Quinnen. Obviously, he showed frustration before, but it sort of manifested itself after the Aaron Rodgers exit. He's like, oh boy, another rebuild year. And while it all came back in and he was able to figure it out, at least this year for AG, and hey, he's my guy, that just showed what lies beneath the surface of Quinnen, and that if another year like that happens, there is a chance at Quinnen, because it'll be a pivot point of either giving Quinnen this brand new deal that Quinnen wants from the Jets or doesn't want from the Jets, we'll see in the future, or to your point, a potential trade to add more assets to the team. That'll be a conversation. But I do want to go back, because I was getting slapped in the face by my son at that point, but the wide receiver 2 thing with Nick Faria. Nick Faria has often brought up targets as a thing, like, that role is important. I disagree about the whole target thing. To me, it's not about targets. It's about drawing another confident 100%, right? So like even a name I wanted this offseason, he didn't end up escaping, is Darius Slayton of the Giants. Somebody that is just opposite of Garrett. It doesn't have to be, we've all dreamt of superstars and we go goo goo gaga when some big sexy wide receiver name comes available. Ooh, that person could pair with Garrett. To be honest, if we remove all the fluff and the excitement of a splash move like that, it's not about that. To me, it's a competent wide receiver opposite of Garrett Wilson that would draw coverage away and make defenses make decisions like, oh boy, do we got to do this or this? I don't give a shit about the targets, and maybe the wide receiver 2, whoever that would be, would, because they'd want to be involved for whatever it is. So you have to find the right guy, but that's the most important thing to me. That's, I think, the wide receiver 2 thing we're missing, and the depth. If Garrett gets banged up, he's been incredibly healthy, and whenever he's been hurt, he's played throughout his career, and a salute to Garrett Wilson on the toughness. But if he ever misses time, Alan Lazard, Josh Reynolds, who has a bum hamstring, and we're going through some very shitty names here. And all of a sudden, we're back in that Jets graphic from a couple years ago where Jermaine Kearse, Greg Salas, and these guys start wide receiver. Like, what is going on here? So I think wide receiver is critically important. And the problem is, perhaps to Nick Faria's point, as he was making jokes about it with the Nelson Aguilar thing, is the names no longer exist now anymore. So now you must lie in the bed that you created here.
And finally, I would rather have the Jets just bring up the kids. Bring up Brandon Smith.
Oh, sure. Quentin Skinner. Right.
Skinner,
Yeah.
Bring up Pritchett. I don't want to watch I do not want to watch Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard and Tyler Johnson anymore. They are not
a brutal
NFL
drop,
receivers.
dude.
They are not NFL receivers. They are bottom tier NFL receivers.
Yeah.
Play the kids. Play the kids. That's all I'm asking for. And I don't want to hear the positivity after Miami beats them next Monday night. Okay. I just don't want to hear it.
That's the winning track. We get to
Miami's
1-3, and then we beat Dallas 2-3, and then all of a sudden we're back in this thing.
Is looking at this secondary, and I understand he might be coaching for his life. He's looking at our secondary and is just laughing. He must be salivating going against this secondary with those weapons. Again, the Jets better score 30 plus if they want to stay in that game. Paul, it's been a pleasure. 0-3 going nowhere. 23-6 down with 10 minutes to go against 3 XFL offensive linemen. The game was over. You were lucky that Todd Bowles was the head coach on the other team. Have a good one, my man.
There he is, Alon, gracing us with his presence. Wow, this has been an eventful show so far. That's for sure. All right, let me see if I caught up on all your super chat conversations. Ah, yes, Luca here is sending in a super chat shout out.
Wow.
8 months, thank you very much. Steve Wilks is a big mistake. Starts there. We will see. Again, it's 3 weeks in. I don't want to overreact. Steve Wilks has not been good so far. There's no question about it. He's a longtime defensive coordinator. He's been coaching defensive football for 30 years. So you would hope that there'd be something else here. There's still time for Steve Wilks to try to figure it out as he tries to get his pieces and Aaron Glenn tries to get his pieces. My biggest problem with the Wilks thing so far is that we are attempting a marriage, a blending of two contradicting concepts of man zone and identities and principles and philosophies. Aaron Glenn wants to do this. Steve Wilks wants to do this. And instead of one of them winning, they're molding together to try to bring it together. And so far, the results have been inconsistent, to say the least. So that's where we're at right now. That's my biggest beef. That's my biggest whatever so far with the Jets. That's where we're at from a struggling perspective. Another super chat coming in here. Let's throw this up on the screen. Yes.
Wow.
Mr. Chill 211 King is back with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I've already made my piece at 95. Will be the highest paid defensive tackle in history to stay here. Pay him. He's our Aaron Donald. Also, play the rookies. Number one, I would rather keep Quinton Williams here than trade him. The Jets just had a chance, apparently, according to Jerry Jones, to trade Quinton Williams to Dallas and get Micah Parsons and a bunch of picks. I think the Jets made the right move, both first-round picks-wise, because obviously you will need those if Justin Fields does not work out. And while Micah Parsons is awesome, Quinton Williams is your leader on the team, and boy, that would have sent a lot of shockwaves to acquire a player of that magnitude, but also sending out one of your 6-team captains on the squad. So I'm all cool keeping Quinton here. He's been awesome this year so far, and I'd love for him to be a Jet for life, although that term doesn't always have the meaning we intended to, but I hope he is. He's our Aaron Donald. Play the rookies. Hey, man, again, I'm not with Alon on a lot of things, but Tyler Johnson had the brutal drop, and you're like, "What, dude? If Nick Faria is right that our wide receiver 2, whatever quote you want to put on that, gets limited targets, then you better catch the limited ones you have, man. You can't be dropping footballs right in your midst. I'm not asking you to make OBJ one-handed catches. Catch the gosh darn football, man." So, yeah, we've had a lot of inconsistencies. Josh Reynolds missed the last week with his hamstring exploding, so we don't know when he's coming back. So I'm all for it. Brandon Smith, Quentin Skinner, Jamal Pritchett, perhaps at some other point, although he may have gotten passed over for some of these other guys in the return game. So I don't know if he has a path to the roster anymore at this current moment, so he'll have to stay on the practice squad. But I'm all for playing the youngsters, playing the rooks, and getting some of those guys in. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. So let's see if we can make it happen. By the way, Mr. Chill 211 King, you're up to 3 raffle tickets so far this month. I'll update the leaderboard here momentarily. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Up next is Indy Jets. Indy?
BG, you made the comment that targets don't mean anything for the number 2. You don't agree with that.
Whoa. Let me rephrase.
I think that's what you said.
Yes. I want to make sure. Wait, but let me clarify. Nick Faria says that the Jets, the wide receiver 2, like he didn't think all offseason Jets should have added a wide receiver 2 because he said, we're talking about like 2 or 3 targets. Who gives a shit? So whether it's a real good wide receiver 2 or some no name, it doesn't matter. And I'm saying that I think that shouldn't be the determination whether or not a wide receiver 2 is valuable in this Jets offense. It should be, as I was just explaining with Alon or whoever the hell I was just on the phone with, is that the pulling attention away from Garrett Wilson is the most important thing, not about feeding the targets to whoever this wide receiver 2 is. So just to clarify my point of interest there.
And I think what Alan's trying to say is if you don't have a quarterback, the number 2 wide receiver is irrelevant. And I want you to look at the Cincinnati game. Okay. The number 2 wide receiver, probably one of the best, maybe in the top 3 has the number 2 wide receiver, T. Higgins.
He's really good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know how many targets he had yesterday? 2. I'm not sure. You know why? Because they don't have a good quarterback.
Yeah, so Jake Browning. Yeah.
You put T. Higgins on the Jets and we're still not throwing to him. What does it matter? You know, and that's the problem is if you're not throwing to a number 2, who cares who it is? You know, Arian Smith had 2 catches yesterday, one for a negative yard and one for 6 yards. I mean, that is a quarterback. We have a quarterback issue. So bring Jerry Rice back in his prime and put him there. And if you don't throw him the ball, does it matter? It's a quarterback issue, you know. T. Higgins didn't have a problem getting targets when Joe Burrow was there, but now you've got
Jake Browning.
Jake Browning, who now that the Bengals have a quarterback issue, just like the Jets. So the number 2 wide receiver became irrelevant. It doesn't matter, and so I hate agreeing with Alan, but you know, he makes a lot of good points to say. We just don't have a quarterback, or maybe it's the system. I don't know what it is, but you're not going to find a quarterback in the market, especially by week 3, that's going to be any better than the ones that we already have. You're going to be pulling a 3rd or 4th string wide receiver from another team, and it's just going to be equivalent to the ones we already have.
Yeah, it's probably too late now to improve it, to be honest. Outside of, again, sometimes moves happen that were surprising, like, whoa, didn't know that guy was available and some trade happens. But no, for the most part, you're right. The names don't.
And so we draft a wide receiver in the 4th round, or in the 3rd round. I'm sorry, or no, 4th round, I guess it was. Yeah.
Arian Smith was 4th round. Yep, 100
right.
Overall. Yep.
And yet you're not going to throw to him. The guy that's his only thing is his speed. So let's throw a pass. Let's throw a pass that's 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then a 6-yard pass, and then let's do everything that he's not good at.
Yeah, I don't understand the lack of deep shots. Tyrod himself is supposed to be this deep shot artist based on all the numbers he's ever had. So I don't understand how that's not in the game plan to take shots. Hopefully Tanner is asked. I didn't get to hear his Thursday press conference. I got lost in the sauce with other stuff. So I don't know if these questions are being asked. He speaks every Thursday to the media. Like, why are they not taking these deep shots with Arian Smith? I don't understand.
Right, and even with Fields, we didn't do it. I mean, they're just not. So put T. Higgins on the Jets, or put the Eagles number 2, Devonta Smith. Okay, are we any better? I mean, are they going to? If you're not going to, at least if our number 2 wide receiver is single covered and you're not even going to try. What's the point? What's the point? And I just want to address, Philly, because I was hoping you were going to see me on when Philly was on here.
Oh, sorry. You must have been on the second row of callers. We had 10 callers, and so I must have not seen you.
I'm going to address the Michael Clemens thing. I tease everybody because I'm, like I'm a big Michael Clemens fan.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, But if you watch that play, I want you to go back and watch that play when Baker took off on that 30-yard run. Okay. And watch Michael Clemens trying to break free of this guy with both hands underneath his shoulder pads. The guy was to the side of him. He's trying to swim out and break his hands free. The guy's got a hold of him. It should have been a holding call, right? He even had the tight end had him from the side and was still pulling him back. That was one of the clear that. And so everybody sit there and bash Clemens. And again, we talked about this yesterday. You could take Clemens off this team and we aren't any better. Is he going to be one of the greats in the Ring of Honor? Probably not. But but he's not the problem of what the problem of that defense was, Alan made the comment that we were down 23 to 6.
Yeah, the 17-point gap, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, 10 of those were given by the offense,
as you mentioned yesterday.
At that point in time,
the strip sack and the pick six, right?
Again, that's not a defensive problem. If the offense gives them 10 points, that if they don't give them 10 points, even if we just punt on those, it's still 13-6.
Indeed.
That's a one-score game.
My brother from another mother. What's up, bro?
What's going on, Mr. Philly? How you doing, my man?
I'm all right, bro. We're in Florida. We're about to leave in a little bit.
Safe travels to you. Safe travel to you.
Yeah. I want to bust your balls about Clemens. The first 2 weeks he was rated the worst NFL tackle in the NFL.
Absolutely. And I've never said Clemens is great. You've never heard me say Clemens is great.
No, but what I'm saying is, man.
I want you to go back and watch that play where Clemens is trying to break. Yeah, watch it closely. Watch him trying to break free from that guy, holding him. A holding call right there would have ended the game.
Well, yeah, maybe. But my thing, they can't stop a nosebleed with a receiver. Abuka would have probably caught the ball again. But the thing is, he had no first move. He doesn't have a first move. He's a bull rush. He should never be on the edge. He's not an edge.
We already know this. We already know this. So you can't sit here and tell me that putting a guy in a position that he's not good at, again, go back to Arian Smith catching passes 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and expect to succeed. Don't put him in a position where he's not good at. We know this.
All right, Indy. I will side with you partially there, but what we're saying is he's a Gen Z defensive tackle where we need an excuse for him to still be around on the team because he wants a participation trophy at the end of the season. I can't do it no more. They gotta get rid of him.
Watts better?
I bet
is Watts better?
Is Watts better? He played a little bit.
Watts isn't any better than Clemens.
We don't know. We really don't know.
We do.
Well, here's the one thing that I think a lot of people are at here, Indy, as I represent the fan base, I guess, is that Michael Clemens has more penalties than career sacks. He has 11 career penalties, and sacks are 7.5.
Sauce Gardner's got 25 penalties. How many interceptions?
Should he be cut?
That's what Sauce Gardner's got 25 penalties. Well, you realize Garrett Wilson has almost as many false starts as Michael Clemens has penalties. Think about that. If you want to do that, but
are we going to different? And I think we can all agree that if you score a lot of touchdowns, I can sort of overlook the false starts. Michael Clemens isn't scoring.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it. He's on defense, but
he's got 10 penalties in the same amount of years that Sauce does, with 25 penalties. And Sauce is his biggest problem is he doesn't tackle.
Garrett Wilson has more receiving yards than any Jets player in history.
I'm just giving you the true facts of if a wide receiver has false starts, You know, nobody's perfect, but I understand that Michael Clemens is a 4th round pick compared to a 1st round pick.
Sure,
so do you expect a 4th round pick to not be as good? Absolutely. But you take a Sauce Gardner with 25 penalties in the same amount of time frame with
But he's been
zero.
more good,
I wouldn't
though.
say zero. He doesn't have zero. How many interceptions does Sauce have?
Like
What,
2 or
3?
3? Yeah, something like that.
Very few. And everybody still considers him. You know, and granted, that pass interference was kind of a ghost pass interference. It was a bullshit call.
100%, I agree.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I'll leave you guys with
And
this.
I'm not sitting here saying Michael Clemens is great. I'm saying what's below him is even worse. And so, as a coach, you're sitting here going, "Who are you going to put in? You got to put in Michael Clemens because Watt's going to give up even worse."
Maybe.
You know,
I'll sign a practice squad guy before I keep putting him out. But anyway.
Exactly. That's my point. Is you'll take somebody worse than Michael Clemens, who was going to make even more mistakes, who was going to make even more goofy penalties.
I think people are just at this. I think people are just at this point, Indy. That is Eric Watts worse? Maybe, but we don't know. So let's just play him. Maybe he's going to have less penalties than Michael Clemens, which would be a net positive. I think that's where some people.
All right, real quick, Indy, before you respond, let me put this in there. All right, I hope Chef Kev is listening. Danny Dimes, 3 wins.
Did you like that? Wait, did you see that super chat earlier?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Let me bring it back up for you.
Bring
Here
it
was Chef Kevin Gilbert. He said, "Noodles. If the Jets had Daniel Jones, we'd be 3-0 right now."
Well, I tell everybody, I don't know shit, but I know some shit enough that I know when it stinks.
Which,
And
by the way,
and I was with you, Philly. You know, I was with you back then too.
So, are you coming, Philly? We've got a ticket available. Are you coming?
I know.
You went to the Bucs
This
game.
guy wants me to go.
Let's just put him on the spot right now.
And Philly, here it is. Okay. Again, I won't mention the guy's name, but he bought tickets to come to our Jets game, 2 tickets. And now he's going to sit at a different part of the stadium because he got another opportunity. He gifted 2 tickets to me that are available for to be sold because that money will go to our charity. We have 2 tickets available. Sounds like you and your son could come and make it happen. And Indy is your chauffeur. So what are we waiting for?
Well, my son's in Florida, so that won't happen too much. But
okay, then someone else. Bring somebody else.
My fiance and I dropped a good amount of money this trip. So I don't listen. To be said. We're not sure. I'm going to contact you. You guys will know if it's yes or no.
Can we get some BG? Can we get some super chats to help him with the with the financials of this? You know,
that's a lot of money coming down here, bro.
He's gonna get chauffeured all the way to New York and all the way back.
You can't go to the grave with the money, man. We'll figure it out.
You say it all the time.
It's true. 100%. It's true. So, like, just figure it out. Come up here and be up here for this moment, and you guys can make up the money later. Come on, man.
And then do I leave my fiance behind? She looked at me like, I'm going to play like video games and live out. She's probably telling me get the hell out. So that's even more incentive. She laughed. She just laughed at the other way.
We'll figure it out, man. For God's sakes, reach out.
Yeah, I'd like to hear, Philly. I'd like to hear her opinion of you going to New York with us without her. What does she think?
Or with her, because we have tickets available.
Or with her.
She just waved by. She waved by at me.
Okay, so you're in. You're in. All right.
Now we've got the support of her.
Give me a karate video. Video. I need one. Inspiration.
We've got the fiance support. We've got BG. Yep. You've got a chauffeur.
There you go, Philly. There you go. All right, so keep us posted,
I think I'm
Philly.
going. I'm not sure.
You're going. Okay, he's going. Hey,
I think I'm fucking going. I think I'm going to go.
All right, wait.
McDonald returns it into the end zone.
Philly Noodles is coming.
I want to see that live.
Okay, there you go. Philly, great to have you. Let's go.
I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Philly's coming, baby. Philly's coming. Nice. We'll secure that and make that official. Blood ink on there as well. All right, let's get another caller in. Ricky, New York live, who is there, and the pictures, Jake Asman, meeting everybody. Your Twitter, which, by the way, make sure you guys follow Ricky on Twitter. Get all those pictures for someone who was not there and got to vicariously live through you as you were there and meeting everybody. So cool, man. And I wish it was a win for you, of course, but it looked like you guys had a killer time there with Jake Asman, the Asmaniacs, and everybody else.
We really did. I mean, Saturday, night was just an amazing time, and that to quote Jake, it was all great, and then the game started. That's and
That's funny.
man, let me tell you what, it was easily 100+ heat index. We were dying
Oh,
out there.
Jesus.
It was brutal, and you know what? A win would have made it all worth it. But
Of
it was
course.
tough. And listen, a few things. I've been sitting back and listening to this conversation, and
Okay.
the thing with Tampa Bay, I think the reason Nick got so much pushback on the Tampa Bay thing
Yeah.
was the way he worded it. Super Bowl. If he would have said Tampa Bay is consistently a playoff team, like probably
Sure.
no one would have bitched about it. But because that word Super Bowl was in there,
I see.
but people, guess what? If you're in the playoffs every year, you're contending for a Super Bowl. That's
Yes.
literally what it means.
Yes.
So,
That makes sense.
I couldn't agree with you more. I said this yesterday to Nick. I said, it's not even so much us having a wide receiver too, but we don't even have the threat of a wide receiver too.
Correct. Yes.
And that's what we need. And that's, no, I don't expect to have, Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle or T. Higgins, but dude, just give me somebody who can, consistently catch the ball if it's thrown to him where he can draw some of that attention away from Garrett.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like the one super chat, spend the money now, there's no players to sign, this at this point.
Not that I see. No.
No. And receivers especially. But
Yeah. It looks barren. Yeah.
I was worried about the depth at defensive end, and sure
That's
as
what
shit,
I. Yep.
now Jermaine is banged up,
Yeah.
and that is proving to be a real issue. However,
Yeah.
I know that all of us fans, we live, eat, breathe football, but let's not get so crazy that we think that we actually know more than the people who do this for a living. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is like all the people that said, "Oh, we need to get Jadeveon Clowney. Oh no, now we missed out on him." I will bet you $100 right now that 99% of the people that were dying for us to sign Jadeveon Clowney had no idea that he had just been arrested.
I did not. No.
So, and the other thing with like Zadarius Smith, everybody, it makes perfect. Listen, just because some guy played for Aaron Glenn at one point doesn't mean he's automatically a great fit. Okay. Zadarius Smith, the Packers didn't want to keep him. The Lions didn't want to keep him. Why is that? Don't you think that maybe there's something going on behind the scenes that,
Could be.
that was why he was out there so long? I'm just saying, like, and you know what? I wonder about that sometimes because, like, sometimes there are really, really good players that just seem like they don't get the extra contract or don't stick around, whatever. And it always makes me wonder: is there something in the locker room? Is there something behind the scenes? And I'll give you a really good example. Which in this instance it was to the Jets' benefit, but Thomas Jones didn't get another contract in Tampa. Went to
No.
Chicago, had 100 rushing yards in a Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
mean, they
cool.
didn't win,
They
but
didn't. No. No.
they didn't re-sign him.
Well, he got traded. He got traded to the Jets. Bears Jets trade.
But yeah, but
No, they didn't. They didn't keep him. But I get your point. No, I get your point.
Yeah, and it always made me wonder, like, why is it that this guy doesn't stick anywhere? And so I know that we all get emotional, and man, it sucks losing. And I do agree with the point about, dude. I literally hate watching them throw like a flanker screen. Like, yeah, Demaryius Thomas did it with, in Denver a little bit.
Yeah.
but I mean, we started trying that shit with like Santana Moss, and like that's just never been like a high percentage successful play for the Jets.
Yeah,
And
not for us. It's worked for other teams, but for us, no bueno. Yeah.
I just don't like throwing to a receiver at or behind the line of scrimmage.
Right, laterally speaking. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and I also can't stand, when we need a first down, like throwing it 4 yards short of the sticks and expecting our guys to make a half a dozen people miss to pick up the first. I don't get it. That being said, like, dude, that game, and I'll tell you, like, we were taking such a beating by the Heat that, like, in the fourth quarter, we were like actually standing like out by the concession stand watching it on the TV, like trying to recover from the heat a little
Jesus.
bit.
Good Lord.
And like at one point, like, I was with Dylan Terriman and he's like, man, you know what? Between the Heat and this game, like, we both kind of agreed. I think I've had it for today, and it was not looking well. So I was actually making my way like down, down the stairs, and as I was walking down, like I saw this guy. He was an older gentleman, and I saw him at the meetup Saturday night. I didn't meet him. I have no idea what his name was, but I see this older guy, and he's wearing a Vilma jersey, and they're rolling him by me on a stretcher with like the oxygen on him, like
Yeah,
he had
because of the
passed
heat
out.
exhaustion,
Heat
obviously.
exhaustion.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
And so like as he came by me, I was like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And he kind of like gave me a thumbs up, and I was like, "Okay," And like just as that was happening, like the Will McDonald play happened, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay," and naturally that did not turn out how we thought it would. But I mean, we could have won that game, and as we were talking about it last night, I was like, "Listen, man." With a minute and 49 left, and I mean, I get it, Baker Mayfield, as scrappy as he is, he's not Tom Brady, but a minute and 49 left, I was like, dude, listen, I've seen us winning a game against a hated division rival with like 3 seconds left, and we give up a punt return touchdown to friggin'
Yes.
lose.
Yeah.
I never count a win as a win until that clock says all zeros. But the same thing with a loss as well. Going all the way back to the Monday Night Miracle, like,
Of course.
that game looked like it was over, and shit, that's probably still one of my favorite memories as a
For good
fan.
reason. Great game.
Yeah, that game was amazing. Went until like 1 in the morning or something crazy
Yeah.
like
Right.
that. And but I always said, like, never count this team out. But man, right now there's some problems. And
Yeah.
and let me tell you what, Aaron Glenn getting excited because, he probably thought we won that game on that
I
block
bet.
kick.
Yeah. Sure.
And I personally, I like seeing him get fired up.
Me too.
And I'm going to say something right now. I'll probably get backlash from the chat and
All right.
backlash from everybody else about it. But I got to be honest with you. When Aaron Glenn gets up there and give these press conferences that people like to criticize so much, guess what? Aaron Glenn is not the head coach of the fan base. He is not up there talking, saying things to make all of us feel better. He's up there to try to motivate this team. And so, like, what do you want him to do? Get up there and say, "Oh, this is a shit show. It's a mess. We're not going anywhere." Like, it's his job to motivate these players, to get them to believe, to get them to buy in. So I don't have nearly as big a problem with some of the things that people are complaining about. And some people, I think they just want something to complain about. Like,
I think
they're
you're right.
they're just they're just going to go out of their way to look for something. I get it. It's been a long, crappy drought for us. But, I still remember 98. I still remember 2000. I still remember, 09 and 10.
Mhm.
And I know what this team looks like when they're playing the way that they should. And to me, like, that 98 year, like, 2000 when Aaron Glenn was a Jet, like that was Jets football to me. You run the ball, you play good defense, and you're in the game every single week. And I know in Aaron Glenn's mind, that's what Jet football is to him too. And honestly, I know that he's, probably kept track of what we're doing from the outside, but I don't think he's really, like when he said, I don't know what same old Jets means. Yeah, you do, dude, because you just did it. Losing a game with a minute and a half left, you do know what it is because you just did it. And listen, I love Aaron Glenn, but I just wish he would get away from the analogies, stick to football talk.
Legos and this, that, or the other. I see.
Dude, the worst one was the instant coffee one. I was like, man, don't quote Robert Saleh. It's too soon, Aaron Glenn. The wounds aren't healed
That's
yet.
true.
Please,
and to be honest, they're always going to be too soon. So I'd rather never those receipts. Please don't do anything with that. That'd be great. So yeah, let's clean that part up. But Ricky, I'm glad that you guys had an awesome experience, of course, around it. The game, of course, notwithstanding with the results. Hey, in 2 weeks, it's probably less than that now. I don't have the math in front of me. But we have our Jets Cowboys tailgate where a lot of Jet fans and Boy Green Coffee Club members and everything are going to rally regardless of whatever the Jets record is. And we're going to have a great time. And as we will hopefully the Jets to another win, because hopefully they stack one on Monday Night Football and they can follow it up against the Cowboys. So, hey, man, there is season left, baby. Let's see if we can,
absolutely. We got a lot of football left. And anybody in the coffee club, anybody in the chat, anybody that's listening on any platform right now, if you're considering going to the meetup and you're still on the fence, I'm going to tell you right now, do it, because regardless of what happens in the game, to be able to get together with all the other fans, it makes it all worth it. I had a tremendous weekend this weekend, obviously results of the game notwithstanding, but no, man, it was just amazing. And I mean, just from the coffee club, I mean, I had Terrence Hill, Ralphie Rocks, Dave Briga, Ted, I mean, there was a lot of coffee club members that came up to me and talked to me. And one of the funniest ones was Terrence Hill. And I don't mean to put you out on Front Street, Terrence, but he kept going, like, you probably don't recognize me because I don't have my glasses on. And I just thought that was funny. I was like, what are you, Clark Kent?
Superman?
Yeah.
I know this may be odd, but
which I absolutely did recognize him. And Terrence, it was great to meet you. It was great to meet all of you guys. And you know what? The Jets might always, might let us down here and there, but we never let each other down. This is the best fan base on the planet, regardless of what the team is doing. And so just thank you to everybody for making this weekend kick ass.
There he is, Ricky New York. And a great plug, again, for folks who don't know, 2 tickets to the Jets-Cowboys game, to our tailgate, to our game that we're going to be sitting at, Section 228A, have become available. Philly Noodles may be taking one of those, but we have another ticket available that was donated back to us from the Boy Green Coffee Club. And the money raised from these tickets are going to our charity, Wounded Warrior Project. So, folks, if you're interested and you want to go to the Jets-Cowboys game and you're fired up and want to sit with us and have a great time, who knows what the results of the game will be, but we're going to be there. It's going to be awesome. Here's my email on screen. Again, first come, first serve. First name, middle initial, last name, letters, jr@gmail.com. PAULAESDEN, jr@gmail.com. They're $250 a piece. Again, all that money goes to charity, so hopefully that makes you feel even better about it, and you get to spend some great times, as Ricky just said, with all your fellow Boy Green Coffee Club members. Before we dip, I saw our boy Alon gifted a 10-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's friggin' go, baby. There's our guy, Jets head coach Aaron Glenn, celebrating. All right, here are the 10 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. That is Cameron. That is the Pussy Assassin. That is Vern. That is Duan. OG Jet Fan Jim. Stephen Craig. Lee Van. Tony Alexio. Christopher Wheeler. Dean Paparella. You guys are all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, and there you go, baby. Alon now has 20 raffle tickets to our contest. Aaron Glenn is set to speak in minutes, so we're going to dip here, folks. I will be back on at 11 o'clock for the MC Show digital channel, reacting to all of NFL Week 1, including some more Jets talk that's coming up on the channel. But let's see if we get an update from Aaron Glenn in just a few minutes on Quincy Williams' health status. We'll see if that is there. Grove Pete sending this one in, who's been a member for 10 months. I see this one coming in.
Wow.
Wait till next year. Hey, we still got more this year, but next year is going to be cool too. All these years are going to be cool. We're going to figure it out and make it happen. Thank you to the 500 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. There was a very vibrant show, no question about it, and I'm sure there's more to come. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody.